All right, welcome in to Flock Nation Speaks, your Baltimore Ravens podcast, where we talk about the best team in NFL history. If you're a Ravens fan, of course, and of course, my guy over here, good old Juggernaut 097. I know Miss Justin, y'all know Miss Juggernaut 097, but he is here to give us a little bit of Chiefs analysis, okay, to kind of even things up a little bit, because the AFC Championship game is coming up on Sunday. I don't know why they didn't do it as the late game. I'm just saying. I'm
They
just
should.
throwing it out there.
We
They
had the
should have.
better game.
Hey,
To be honest, I want the game to happen right now because, like, I'm just so anxious. Waiting for the game. I hate, playoff time. Like, there's nothing like, we had the regular season, okay, and we got games on all day, but now we gotta wait till like 2, 3 o'clock for the game to come on. It's like, oh, it just gives me so much anxiety. Do you ever feel that way during
yeah,
playoff time?
I feel like especially during playoff time, you're like you're just ready for the game, right? You're
Yeah,
just ready. Like it's like it's funny how they always post like one more sleep, two more sleeps, all that stuff, right? Because you're just ready. You're just anxious. You're excited for the game. I think you're more excited for the game, not necessarily even for the result, but just to get it started, to get it going, to get kickoff going. I think
yeah.
that's the funnest part about it. You're just like, man, like let's go. Like it's the AFC Championship game. We ready to get on to the next one. Like we ready for all of this. Like I mean, I feel the same way. Like it's the playoffs. I always say it like the playoffs are one of those times where it's just like it's a lot of fun. It's the one and done aspect of it gives it that even more of an edge, right, over some of the other sporting events out there because like your season hinges on this game, right? Your season hinges on this game.
Like,
So
one mistake you do can be
yeah,
costly to your season in the
exactly.
playoffs.
And that's the thing about it, man. Like I mean, yeah, like you said, and I think that's gonna bring us into the preview of the game when we talk about the things that have to be done to win this game for each respective pieces here. So I mean, for me, I'm starting out for me. I think number one, it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think if the Ravens can get going early, that's going to be the biggest thing. Because the biggest issue with the Ravens lately against the Chiefs, especially in those losses, was they got down too early, right? They got down and that was it. Like they got down and it was just hard it was hard to come back. And then Patrick Mahomes will make one more big play and end the game, right? Every single time, especially those regular season matchups that we've seen where, I think the Ravens were like 0-2, 0-3 against the Chiefs before they finally beat them. And it was just because there was one final play where the defense couldn't get off the field, especially if the offense got down early. So I think the Ravens need to come out and jump up on them first things first. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I think offensively you got to play a clean game, and I think defensively you got to force turnovers from a team that don't really turn the ball over that much, right? Like that's going to be the biggest thing. And if you can't force turnovers, you got to force them to nickel and dime. You don't let the big plays happen and stuff like that. But I will say, and I don't know how you feel about this, Justin, and I'll let you take over right here, but I do think the biggest Ravens advantage is a Chiefs disadvantage right now because I feel like the Chiefs not having Tyreek Hill that was a lot of the reason why the Chiefs was winning those games was because Tyreek Hill was simply unguardable and unguardable from the line of scrimmage, but also unguardable after you gave Patrick Mahomes so much time. The Ravens couldn't sack anybody either back then, so it was so
And
much different.
it also when people were focusing on Tyreek Hill, so it got Travis Kelsey open, so it
It's true.
opened the field up more.
Yep.
So yeah, you do have a good point there because we don't have that that fast that track star anymore. Like we can't zoom past like our wide receivers haven't been doing that great this year. But I mean, our defense we have had one of the best defenses this whole year. This is probably the best defense I ever seen the Chiefs have for a long time. You know what they say? Defense wins championships. I don't know. Maybe
but
maybe
I'm
I'm maybe I'm talking too early.
but you say that, but the Ravens got a far better defense than the Chiefs got right now. So,
That's true.
the Ravens lead the league in sacks. I don't know if they lead the league in turnovers, but they right up there with anybody. They're gonna force you to turn the ball over, or they're gonna force you to at least get uncomfortable. And I think that's something we haven't seen Mahomes have to deal with is being uncomfortable because he can move, right? It seems like his receivers always tend to get open, right? The scheme is always good. So the Ravens gonna have to force Mahomes to be uncomfortable. They got to. I think that's gonna be the biggest thing defensively is he has to be uncomfortable. Same thing you did with C.J. Stroud last week. Like C.J. Stroud was trying to nickel and dime the Ravens down the field, but the Texans are known for those big plays, right? The Texans are absolutely known for those big plays. So because they're known for big plays, that's why the Ravens gonna have to slow them down, right? That's why they had to slow the Texans down. That's the same way they got to slow the Chiefs down. The Chiefs are known for hitting you fast, giving it out to Pacheco, letting him go. Bye, I'll see you later, right? Like Pacheco is gonna be a guy who is you're gonna have to look at and be like, oh man, like we gotta stop that guy, right? Because Pacheco kind of gives y'all a little bit of everything from the running back position, and probably something you guys don't really haven't felt like y'all had. I mean, you might just say Kareem Hunt, but I don't even think Kareem Hunt was nearly as versatile. So how
No,
you
Kareem Hunt was not as versatile.
yeah, how you feeling on the Chiefs end of things? Like, what do you feel like the Chiefs have to do to win this game?
See, our offensive line is going to play really good. Like you mentioned, how what's the Ravens? What's their defense ranked? It's like it's top up there. We're gonna have to our O line is going to play really good. Um, I think our running game, with Pacheco, he's gonna have to get some wide open holes, because I don't think we're definitely not gonna beat you guys down the field. We're definitely not gonna beat you guys that way. So, and also Patrick Mahomes, he's definitely going to need to be, he's probably going to have to scramble a lot, try to get a lot of first downs that way. You might see a couple big plays from Patrick, but I mean, it's going to be nothing crazy. And also Chris Jones on our defense, our defense is going to have to play really good. Chris Jones is going to have to get to Lamar Jackson.
What
Like,
my question is, so let me ask you, if
mhm.
let's say Patrick Mahomes can't get his big playoff, how do you think that bodes for the Chiefs?
I don't think it's going to be very good for the Chiefs because like we're going to need you to hold you I think under 20 points or like somewhere around that margin in order to beat you guys
Okay.
because it's definitely going to be you guys have a great offense, you guys are going to be scoring a lot, so we need to hold you under 20 points.
Okay. And I mean, that's the thing about it too. Like in the playoffs lately, it feels like the Ravens haven't been able to do that. But I think everybody can tell this is a whole completely different Ravens offense than we've ever seen. When you talk about weapons, you talk about guys who can make a play. It's funny. I think I was watching my guy, the mass commentator today, and he was talking about how, basically the Ravens receiving core is not technically probably great. But I will say, like, I feel like the Ravens do it by committee, right? A lot of teams do running back by committee. The Ravens do that too, but the Ravens do kind of wide receiver by committee. You don't know who's going to beat you, right? You don't know if it's going to be Bate this game. You don't know if it's going to be Odell. You don't know if it's going to be one of the tight ends with Likely and Andrews. Andrews should be back this week too. So you don't know about that. That's the biggest thing. Like with the Ravens, Aguilar can go off. Of course, Zay can go off. We know that, right? Like you don't know who it's going to be. You don't know who's going to be the guy in the game, and I think that's so hard to defend. I really do. I
Mhm.
think that's so hard to